I was interested in hearing my colleague make his point that the President could take one good item and put it with a really bad item and send it over to us and force us to make a decision. But let's think about what the President's options are now. We can send thousands of earmarks over in a bill to the President, and he only has two choices. It's to take it or leave it, to take the whole thing or veto the whole thing. And work that has been done here and in the House for months either has to be accepted in total or thrown out in total. That doesn't make any sense, and I'll use the exact argument he did. We should not be able to package all this good with all this bad and try to force it down the President's throat without the ability to have the checks and balances, the discussions that are needed, so that the American people can see that we've thoroughly vetted these ideas and that we're spending their money wisely. This line item rescission package I'm here to support because this Senate, this Congress needs the interaction with the President and the working relationship that would be caused by this particular bill. What it does, it simply allows the President no more than 4 times a year to go through our spending bills and to send those things back which he thinks are not national priorities. This is not real complicated. He does not veto what we send him. He just gets a recommendation in the process. And since his agencies in the executive branch is charged with carrying this out and spending this money, the President needs to be engaged in the process in more than a take it or leave it type of relationship. So no more than 4 times a year, the President can put together those things which he thinks are not national priorities and send it to the Congress, and all this bill does is guarantee that it gets a vote. If the President tries to use this against individual members, I know this body well enough to know that we're not going to pass his request. And any president that tries to do that, to try to do it for political purposes, will find that his rescission package or his recommendations to the Congress will be dispensed with very quickly. This is important not only for this president, but for many presidents in the future. We know as senators, as congressmen, that over the next several decades that this country is going to be faced with incredible fiscal crisis. We have no idea how we're going to pay for Medicare and Medicaid in the future or Social Security. And it's going to be becoming more important every year that we cut wasteful spending and that we work with the President, that we work with the House to do everything we can to cut those things that aren't necessary. And many bills, and we know what happens, many items, earmarks, are voted on for political reasons, that it is a good idea to allow the President to package those things and send them back to us so that we can vote on them and move them out if they're not national priorities. This is not dissimilar at all to the BRAC process, which we created to eliminate unnecessary military bases. We found that congressmen and senators were not going to vote on individual bases. We're not going to vote to eliminate one in one state, because we know then the congressmen and senators would vote to eliminate one in ours. And it created a political dilemma that caused us for years and years to leave open bases that we knew should be closed. And the same thing is happening with federal programs and federal spending year after year. One project might be in my state, one might be in another senator's state, but none of us are willing to step up and eliminate projects one at a time. We can't vote on them that way. But this line item rescission opportunity for the President and for us is to take those things that we know are not national priorities, to put them in a package and send them back over for us to vote. We should not lose this opportunity. We need the President working with the Congress to eliminate wasteful spending, not this year, not next year, but for decades to come. And this may be our only opportunity in a long time to make it happen. We've made tremendous progress on identifying the problems with corruption, with wasteful spending, identifying earmarks, and All this does is allow us to take it a step further to make sure that we have the checks and balances from Congress and the executive branches to eliminate those things that we know shouldn't be in there and that the President knows shouldn't be in there. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President, what is the time status?
The senator from New Hampshire,